Your child melts down over the smallest things. They can't sleep, they refuse to go to school, their emotional outbursts are getting worse, and you're walking on eggshells, never knowing what might set them off next. You've tried counseling, therapy sessions, maybe even medication, but nothing seems to stick. In fact, everything you try seems to make their anxiety and aggression worse. Well, you're not alone, and you're not failing your child. 4.4 million children in America struggle with anxiety, and the numbers are climbing every year. What most parents don't realize is that their child's anxiety isn't a behavioral problem that needs to be managed. It's a neurological problem that can be addressed at its root cause. When 8-year-old Damon started having self-harming thoughts and refusing to go to school, his mom Natalie felt hopeless. She said, "Everything I would do was making his anxiety and his aggression worse." But when they discovered the real root cause wasn't in Damon's head, it was stuck in his nervous system, everything changed. When we met Damon, he was struggling emotionally with anxiety. Not an easy thing to do for an 8-year-old. His emotions were coming out as anger and aggression. He was refusing to go to school, and things were getting progressively worse for his entire family. It got so bad that he was starting to have self-harming thoughts and actions. Damon had already been through behavioral program, but his mom Natalie felt like everything she had tried was making his anxiety and aggression worse. She was worried about what school would look like and how he would adapt as he got older. When they found our office, it was the first time Natalie felt heard and hopeful. She had said there was no judgment, they felt understood, and we finally had some answer as to why Damon was struggling. And even better, there was a solution. Let's start with understanding why a child's nervous system gets stuck in anxiety mode. 1. Anxiety is a normal part of life. It's going to show up naturally during times of stress, big life moments, and challenges. The worst kind of anxiety is the anxiety about having anxiety, which is really a sign of a dysregulated nervous system and what we're talking about here. Your child's anxiety isn't a character flaw or behavioral choice. It's their nervous system stuck in a constant fight or flight state, unable to access the rest, digest, and regulate mode that's essential for emotional well-being. When the nervous system is out of balance, even simple daily activities can feel threatening to your child's brain and body, triggering anxiety responses that seem disproportionate to the situation. This stuck state is caused by subluxation, stress and tension that builds up in the nervous system and interferes with the proper brain-body communication. Next, let's chat about how the perfect storm creates childhood anxiety. Subluxation buildup often starts as early as stress during pregnancy, when maternal stress hormones cross the placenta and impact your child's developing nervous system. Birth interventions like C-sections, forceps, or vacuum extraction can create physical trauma to the delicate upper neck and brainstem area, where crucial nerves are housed. Early childhood experiences like falls, illness, emotional stress, and even frequent antibiotic use can continue to add layers of stress to an already overwhelmed nervous system. Without addressing these root causes, children don't grow out of anxiety. They often grow into more complex neurological challenges. Has your pediatrician or doctor ever mentioned the vagus nerve? The vagus nerve is your child's brake pedal. It's responsible for activating the calming, healing side of the nervous system that allows them to self-regulate and feel safe. When subluxation interferes with the vagus nerve function, your child loses access to this natural calming mechanism, making it nearly impossible for them to settle down on their own. This explains why traditional behavioral approaches often fall short. They're trying to teach coping skills to a child whose nervous system is physically unable to access the calming state needed to use those skills efficiently. So how do we at New Ridge Chiropractic identify and address real root causes of anxiety? We use advanced insight neurological scans to detect and measure the presence and severity of subluxation and nervous system dysfunction in your child. These scans show us exactly where stress is stuck in your child's nervous system and help us create a personalized care plan tailored to their unique needs. The EMG scan below is a perfect representation of the stuck sympathetic fight or flight patterns we commonly see on our scans when a child or patient is struggling with anxiety. These scans show all sorts of increased or excessive tension in the cervical and sacral regions, which flood the nervous system with nonstop sensory noise and overload that then overwhelms the brain and nervous system, leaving it stuck in sympathetic dominance. Additionally, this EMG scan has a small yellow bar in the lower thoracic region near T10, which is the area of the nerves that supply and controls the adrenal glands, indicating this is a long-standing stress pattern that has led to adrenal fatigue and insufficiency, which is a hallmark finding of anxiety and neurological exhaustion. Our adjustments work to release stuck stress from the sympathetic nervous system, activating the vagus nerve and restoring balance to the nervous system as a whole. If everything we talked about in this video sounds all too familiar and you'd like to learn more about navigating anxiety, the insight scans, or how to learn more about the sequencing of optimal health, click the link in our bio, comment below, or send us a DM.